Good morning.
You look amazing.
Oh my God, no. I'm sweating. I'm My face hurts. Is that your Tim Hortons? Heck yeah, it is.
This is an ice cap made with chocolate milk, and it is everything.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Thanks, John.
Anything.
Getting our girl ready for the live.
Right.
So
Trained so well.
I have never had Tim Hortons, so what do you get there?
I always get an ice cap. That is like my go-to. I enjoy the fruit explosion muffin. It's like a muffin with jam inside of it.
Oh my.
Love it. I like their bagels. I'm a whole enthusiast just in general.
Love it. I'm gonna have to check it out once I come up there to visit you two.
I would love that.
So how are you doing this morning?
So far, like better than yesterday with doing the podcast, and then I had like group last night. My face was done. But yeah, it's okay. How are you?
I am doing all right. I told you this morning that I woke up in pain and the rain is coming back in. So I'll turn the camera around so you can see. You can see all the clouds coming in. So it is going to be a nasty day today, and my face is feeling it.
View though.
Yes, I am very grateful for this view. Good morning, Andy and Teresa. John's on there already making fun of you. There's Alma. Good morning, Natalia. All right, so today on our agenda, we are going to talk about supportive family and friends. We kind of talked about some hidden positives of TN last week, but we'll talk a bit more about that. And we're going to talk about some painger and suicidal ideation. Yeah. So feel free to join in and let us know your thoughts while we're talking about these things too.
Sure.
So where do you want to start, Kenzie?
Oh gosh. Let's start with families, maybe. We'll start off on a positive note.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know for you, you have your husband.
Yes. So Michael has been super supportive in this journey. It's taken it's taken a lot of effort for us to both get here to this point. And I know that we've talked about that before with people struggling to get their family members on board. Not all of my family members are on board with this, and that's okay. I am trying to understand that just like I only have energy for certain things, other people only have energy for certain things. And maybe supporting me from a distance is the way that they can support me. And that's okay. Support looks different to everybody. And we have to try to understand that everybody's going through something. Maybe they're not in debilitating pain every day, but they may be going through something else.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about like vicarious trauma. So, we're going through the trauma, but the people around us are also affected by that. That doesn't like not rub off on them. So, my mom seeing me in pain is very traumatic for her. John having to pick me up off the floor, that's traumatic for him. So they're dealing with these things as well. And I don't know, they need support. So they have their limited capacity to deal with this as well, and it's a difficult balance.
Exactly. I agree with that our caregivers don't have the support that we necessarily have, and I'm not saying that we have all the support that we need.
Yeah.
We have this community for each other. we're trying to build a community for the support caregivers so that they can have one another to speak to. But that it is traumatizing for our caregivers to go through something like this. They want to help. They don't know how to help. You know, your life is changing. This person is changing in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So what are kind of your guys's, I see Teresa saying that her family struggles as they feel helpless,
Yeah.
and she doesn't even want to be touched when it hits.
Yeah. Yeah, I can really relate to that. And I think my family is always asking me, like, how can I help? What can I do? And I'm sitting there saying, I don't know. I don't have anything for you to do. Just like be here, be present, because there's like literally not one thing in the world that is going to make me feel better right now. And for them, that is so hard to grasp. It kills them inside that they literally can't do something about it.
Exactly. And then they don't have anybody to talk to about that either. That's a whole different thing in itself. Cindy is saying that it's hard for her kids to see her struggle.
Uh,
Um, Kenzie and I don't have children, but that is a perspective that we'd like to get from
mm,
warriors who do have children. And how do you guys cope with that? I know Mary, I speak to often. She has two little girls, and they they're great. They just get on board quickly with her. She is very vocal with them. Hey, I'm in pain. Hey, I'm having a tough day. You know, mommy needs some extra help today. And the girls are just amazing with her.
that's so good. Yeah. What does Elma say?
Yes, Alma's saying that her grandma says she was traumatized to even have the wind even hit my aunt in the face. She said I would have nights of no sleep because I would think that the pain would strike.
Yeah.
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 And Daniel's saying that's very complicated and they just can't relate. And I think one of the things that helped me is in the very beginning, I don't like to communicate my pain. I don't like to communicate that I'm struggling. And that's something that I learned in the beginning helps people. If they can understand what I'm feeling, then they're more sympathetic to the way that I'm acting. And that
Mm-hmm.
the painger side of this. So in the beginning, I wouldn't say, hey, I'm in excruciating pain. Hey, I'm in a 9 out of 10 level pain. Hey, I'm in a 10 out of 10 pain now. It's not getting any better. It's just getting worse. And then I would just snap at Michael. And he's like, well, we were just hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah.
What's going on? So I had to figure out how to express it to him. And then more than just saying, hey, it's 9 out of 10 pain. Hey, it feels like a hot knife is being pressed into my gums and it's
Mm-hmm.
slowly going down my cheek.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is a good lead into like painger as well. But I think with family, like they are the people that are going to understand this the most without having it. But at the same time, they still are never going to fully understand. They're not going to have that intimate understanding that we have. And I think that makes it so important that we do have a community like this where
Yes,
we go to and see them. And I wish that the support people had that same community where, because they intimately understand what it's like to live with someone that is going through this, and that's a whole other perspective that also needs support.
totally. Let's go back through these messages and see. I saw Andy saying something. Oh, so that's crazy that Alma's aunt has TN. I didn't know that, Alma.
Yeah.
Said I would fake being okay until they notice. They would always tell with the slow chewing and extra small bites. Yeah. So at least they were able to pick up and see, hey, she's struggling, she's not eating well, you know. Daniel brought up painger. Andy said, my kids, I believe, are in denial over my disabilities, and I still wonder why I can work, which is very hurtful to me, as I need their support. They are also adults. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Natalia, her daughters already recognize when I have an attack. Strong Thor, medium Iron Man, soft Spider Man. So when I have an attack, they ask which superhero is going to save me now. That is
I
adorable.
so much.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it's such a difficult balance because some family members are just never going to get it. And how much energy do you put forward into trying to make them understand something that they are never going to fully understand? Like that is so, so, so difficult.
I think that's a really good point to bring up. How much effort do you put in? I
Hmm.
think that'd be a personal choice. For me, I like to give people second, third, fourth chances. And with TN, I found that if it's taking energy away from me, then I can't be involved in that any longer. I I'm at such a sensitive point in my life that I have to protect my energy at all costs. And
Yep.
that no drama, no, people questioning my condition, people, not being supportive. I don't really have time for that. I don't have the energy for that. So it's taken a long time to get here, but I'm learning to just quickly say no if it doesn't bring me joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's something like I know therapy has been really beneficial for me to kind of work through. My family's been very supportive, but a lot of my friends haven't. So therapy has been really awesome in helping me work through those feelings of like loss around those friendships because sometimes they just don't work out. And me continually throwing my energy into that is not helping anything. It's hurting me. It's taking from energy away that I could be giving to the people that actually care and that are trying to help understand. So yeah, I don't know. It is something that takes time. It is something that takes work, and just overall, it is such a hard thing.
Totally. I was reading your blog recently, and I was reading that you talked about grieving those friendships.
Mm-hmm.
That really hit home with me. It's like breaking up with somebody, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not something that you did, it's not something that they did. It's it's just not going to work out, and it's
Yeah.
hard because you want those friendships and you want people to understand and you want those people to just show up for you and not have to ask them to be there for you. So
Yep.
I think, like you said, saving your energy for the people that are there and the people that want to help you is super important. And I think that's super important to their support as well, to let them
Absolutely.
know how much they're doing and their sacrifices mean to you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, I think also having the mental capacity to listen to others too. Yes, I love that. Asking someone if they have the mental capacity, the energy to listen. That has been a game changer in communication.
I think that is a great idea. I am not implementing that and I'm going to start because I think that's really smart to ask people if they have the room to vent. Thanks for sharing that, Keys.
Yeah.
Alma thinks we need a forum of support in Spanish. You
Hmm.
get behind that, Alma. Start head spearheading that. I'm all for it. I just don't speak Spanish.
I wonder, like, if there is one on like Facebook or something.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I wonder if Tati does one too. Well, she
Mm,
probably Spanish, but Portuguese. Um, but we can reach out because I know she does an FPA group out there.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so we can reach out and see what support groups are out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Teresa. Well,
Yeah, see, Teresa and Alma. There you go. There's your support group. I love it. I would watch that Instagram live, even if I couldn't
absolutely.
understand
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think we could probably like segue into painger and
it. Yeah,
dealing with support systems. I know we kind of talked briefly a second ago about like when you run out of that energy and you feel like backed in a corner and you're in pain and all of a sudden you just snap out of nowhere, and that's difficult for the family member to understand, or the friend or whoever is supporting you to understand.
totally. They don't know where it came from. You were just fine 2 minutes ago. They don't understand what has changed. Um, I started making like vocal noises, like
Mm,
grunting, to let my people know that I'm, having a shock. And he'll
mm-hmm,
look over at me and be like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, point to my face." And then he knows, okay, that's what's going on.
mm-hmm.
That way I don't have to vocalize it. And I'm sure there's a better way. I'm trying to learn sign language too. So I'm going to learn lightning for insight in ASL. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. No, that's honestly good. I think I get really quiet. Like
Yeah.
I stop talking, and I think that's kind of my signal, like if I'm not responding. Or the other thing that I do, instead of snapping, I just walk away. And like that's kind of rude in its own way, but I think my family has understood that like I'm about to snap, so I just need to like leave and just give me like 10 minutes. I'll just go into my room. I have literally like sat in a closet before and just sat there and cried for a bit, and then I was fine. Like I just need a second. And so I think without them knowing, like me doing that to someone else would be really rude if they did not understand the situation. But because I have communicated to my family, like sometimes I'm just going to walk away, or sometimes I'm just not going to respond. And then they get the hint of like, okay, we need to give her a second.
I love that idea that you just walk away. I,
Mm-hmm.
um, I feel the panger rising up in me, and if I don't get to my grunting, I tell Michael, "Hey, I'm going to snap. I need to leave, and I need to go meditate or do some deep breathing." Um, but it is hard to hold it in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you have an example of panger that you want to share?
I have so many.
John, I do.
Yeah, John. Poor John. Yeah, like I I don't know, in general, I do this thing where I'll like start cleaning. I don't know why. Like that's just my thing. Like I start thrashing around the house and I get really like angry. I'm like, this house is a mess. And I'm like throwing dishes around and I'm going crazy. The one day I start doing that, John was cooking ramen. I think I like briefly told this story before. John was cooking ramen. I start thrashing around and he was like, hey, like what's going on here? He's like, let's sit down. He just commented the ramen incident.
He's ready. This is
He's traumatized by this. I like he's trying to sit me down and sit me on the couch because he knows like as soon as he sits me down and like hugs me, like I'll be okay and I'll kind of like snap out of it. But when he went to go hug me, I like threw up my hands. I like walked over back to his ramen. I like started cooking it for him, and he's like, "Oh my god, like what is that?" Like, and I did not say one word to him through all of that. I was like dead silent, just like leave me alone.
the
Yeah,
panger is coming out. Watch out.
yeah. I'm gonna cook your ramen for you. Like,
Well, Daniel's with you. He says ramen pisses him off too.
know what it is. Do you have any good ones?
That's funny that you say that because Michael does the same thing. I think Kenzie and I just found out we're both Aquariuses this week, so the similarities are starting to make more sense. Um, but I have a very similar story where Michael will come up to me and he'll hug me, and that will make me feel better. But this one day he came over and I was like, "Don't touch me." It's like, "Oh my God, like, okay, I'm just trying to help." And I just flew off the hinges, yelled a little bit, and then walked away. But
Yeah.
that, like you said, is traumatizing for someone to experience.
Someone that loves you that's trying to comfort you, and you're like, get off me.
Exactly. Get away from me. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. Loud noises really bother me when I'm flaring. And
Mm.
Michael likes to watch his videos. I just saw a meme on this the other day, but Michael likes to watch his videos on his phone super loud. And I'm like, you can turn the volume down. So I just am super snappy about it when I'm flaring. And so now the other day he just walked in the room and he's like turning the volume down immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's just so many like little things like John likes to whistle.
Oh
And
no, not no.
like he's got such a beautiful voice. Like he's so good at music, and most of the time I absolutely adore it. But when I am in pain, I literally cannot just say, "Hey John, could you please stop whistling?" I'm like, "Stop it." Like,
No, no. I'm flaring right now and just the thought of a whistle is like, oh my God, no. Please don't do that. No.
but I think like there's something to be said. Like when you're in pain, your body is overstimulated like already. And so to have bright lights or loud noises or someone touching your skin, it's too much. And like that is so hard for people to understand. But like that is such a common experience to get overstimulated when you are in debilitating pain.
Totally. Okay, let's go back up here. Andy said wrong ramen flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Alma said Andre hugs her too. Andre's a really good support team too. She said her girls are loud and she's snappy when she's flaring too. Daniel said his wife gets so sad when she can't help.
Oh,
Michael gets really sad when he can't help me too. Pain and noise is fire, yep. Keys said her husband does the same thing, and I always say, didn't you buy some earbuds? Yeah. And some, wear them. Get those AirPods I bought you. Jeez.
yeah, it's been difficult living in a musical household.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Um,
Yeah.
yes, I hate being snappy. And one thing I must say that my anger was super bad when I was on gabapentin.
Mm.
I'm no longer on gabapentin. I'm no longer on any meds for people who don't know that. Um, so I quickly realized that I needed to turn my painger around because it was ruining my marriage and it was
Mm-hmm.
taking a toll on Michael. So I saw the toll it was taking on him and the toll it was taking on me, frankly. And I had to quickly turn it around. So just this past May, I started journaling and I started meditating, and working that into my daily routine has really helped me keep a calm state of mind. And it helps me during a flare to remember, hey, I can go back and meditate for 10 minutes and it's really going to help me.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to take the pain away, but it's going to help my brain calm down and be able to work through the flare.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about just kind of removing your brain from that situation, whether that's through meditation or journaling. Like I know I like to go take a bath. I like to sit in a dark closet, which is a really weird one, but that's what I have to do. I like to um take some ice and like put it on my neck. That just kind of like shocks my system. I like to, I don't know, there's just so many things where you just have to like remove yourself for a second.
Exactly.
Get that and like let yourself calm down. And I think it takes practice and time to kind of like hone that. Don't snap right away, just like take a second, but it is something that is not easy to do.
Totally. I've had TN for 4 years, and I just told you I'm learning to master it as of May.
Yeah.
I know Kenzie's had TN for a little bit longer than that, and she's still dealing with painger. So don't think that it goes away. Don't think that it gets any easier. Well, it does get easier once you learn the rules. But like Kenzie said, finding what works for you and just taking that time away. I always like to say, my brain is fighting 24/7. So if I can give it 10 minutes to just not think and not battle and just relax, it
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I think with that painger, I think with grief, it's a very cyclical thing that we will deal with for the rest of our lives. Like, just because you've worked through it once does not mean it's gonna not come back like 3 years later and hit you randomly out of the blue. That happens. And it's just learning how to kind of hone the technique and get through it a bit quicker the next time, more efficiently, more effectively, kind of deal with that. And it does get easier, but that doesn't mean it goes away.
Exactly. I think that's a great point. I'm seeing a lot of talk about my comment about gabapentin. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make it really clear that I am not a medical physician whatsoever. So these experiences are just mine.
Mm-hmm.
Gabapentin may work great for you. Gabapentin may not give you any of the side effects that I experienced. These are just the symptoms that, or side effects, excuse me, that I experienced. So make sure that you're not taking any advice from Kenzie and I, and that you're just listening as to our experiences. Always consult with your therapist, your neurologist about anything that we're talking about. If you want to questions about gabapentin or any medication, make sure to consult with your doctor, please.
Yeah, I was saying in the podcast yesterday, like there are no two cases of TN that are identical. You know, we all have it in different branches, we have it on different sides, we have it for different reasons, we respond to different things. So what Jessica and I go through is completely different, and what we go through is going to be completely different to what you go through. So it is such an individual experience that we have to try our own things, and we have to work with our specialists to find that.
Yes, I agree. Laura said she's starting a new grief group in our community next week. It's called Hope. It's open for everyone who suffers from grief. I would love to share that when you have that up and running. So send that our way. Um, Counseling has been really helpful for me. It's in the pause to breathe and identify something that will help bring comfort. Daniel said distraction. Um, so I got off of my nerve meds because they didn't relieve my pain, and I experienced bad side effects, which we can kind of segue into our next topic. Um, I experienced suicidal ideation. I experienced anger, depression. I gained weight, which, you know, isn't an issue for me. But yeah, I think the suicidal ideation really, really got to me, and I couldn't do it anymore. And so I called my neuro and told her that I need to get off of all of them. She didn't want me to, but I told her I had to, and it was a life or death situation. So she gave me the instructions, and I did it.
Well, I'm so glad you advocated for yourself in that situation. Yeah.
Yes, it's so important. And I think you really inspired me to advocate with my doctors because it's intimidating when a medical physician is telling you, hey, you need to do this or you need to do that. And they're supposed to be the expert, they're supposed to know what's best,
Yeah.
but they're not sitting here feeling with these ideas and the
Yeah.
pain, everything. So I stood up for myself and I was like, no, I'm not, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
So that step, um, it wasn't easy. It was really hard getting off of two different anticonvulsants and making that transition into, okay, now what do I do?
Hmm.
So I medicate with medical marijuana and I medicate with tramadol and Tylenol. And I also, like I said, do yoga, journaling, meditation. Self care is really important to my healing plan.
Yeah. That's awesome. I know. Yeah, it's hard when you are dealing with things like suicidal ideation. I know, like I've heard from a couple of people and I've experienced it myself where, I was having those thoughts and I went to the doctor and they invalidated my physical health because I was having these mental health issues now when this stemmed from medication. This was not something that was going on in my brain. Like it was the medication that was doing it. And so that's so difficult, and you really do have to advocate for yourself, which is not easy, especially when you're fighting a whole system essentially. But I think in knowing that we have this community and so many people have gone through this, like that helps me want to advocate for myself more and say, okay, I'm not the only one going through this. This is a common thing, and you as a doctor need to realize that, acknowledge it, and do something about it.
Exactly. Um, I think it's a tough subject to talk about, suicidal ideation, um, because it's something that we experience, some of us, on a daily basis. I've talked to some warriors this week that experience it on a daily basis. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had suicidal thoughts last week during my flare up. That's so hard to say. It's hard to admit. It's hard to um, admit to you guys and admit to myself too that I am still struggling and I am in a sensitive space. And that's the reality of this thing. And that's why it's so important to get the right support and to take care of yourself and to do the things that are going to make your life better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is such a common experience that no one talks about. Like, it is so rare to hear people talk about that because it still has such a stigma. And I think we're scared. At least I know I am. I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I'm always scared to talk about the effect this has had on my mental health because I worry people will take my physical health less seriously because I have had doctors do that. I I was hospitalized at one point for suicidal ideation, and I don't talk about that. And I feel like it's important for me to talk about it. And I think it would help other people to talk about that. But like it was such a traumatizing thing for me to have, to go into this hospital and have them not give me pain medication because they didn't believe me. Like they thought this was a mental thing. And like I don't know, like I really you can probably tell I'm a little flustered about it, but like I still can't talk about it to this day. And yet that's such a common thing that needs to be talked about. So I'm just I'm glad that we can admit to each other that these things are happening. Um, but yeah, it doesn't make it easier to talk about.
Totally. I'm really proud of you for sharing that. Thank you, Kenzie. I know how much energy it takes, and I think, we talk about it week after week that this is part of the struggle that people don't see. And like Daniel's saying, it's less a desire to kill myself, it's more of just wanting to free myself and others from this.
Yeah.
There is no cure right now, so it's hard to think that it's ever going to get better. But guess what? We have each other.
Mm.
I be here for Michael. I have to be here for you. I have to be here for this community. I have to be here for me because life is beautiful and there are beautiful things to still experience.
Yeah. I think one of the most helpful things for me, the reason that I wanted to die was because I felt like I was a burden. That was my main thing. I just was like, my family shouldn't have to deal with this. And so I kept saying things like, my disease. This is my disease and it's hurting my family. Separating myself from this disease, it's not my disease, this is a disease that I have, has been one of the greatest mental shifts that I've had. um, you're not a burden. This disease, it sucks and it's a burden on you, and it can be a burden on family, but that's not a you thing. You're not doing anything wrong. This is just what it is, and your family's gonna love you through this. Your support system is gonna love you. It's just it's so hard.
It is. And again, I'm so proud of you for speaking about this. I know it's taking a lot of energy out of me and I'm choking back tears just hearing you speak about this and, watching everybody, put their input into it. Um, Laura said by acknowledging our mental health challenges, it should mean our physical struggles are real, aren't.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's our life, and what we're dealing with is the biggest challenge. So we have to try to stay positive.
Yeah.
Julie said her flare was so bad yesterday that I took opioids and smoked weed, and I still couldn't get relief. I kept asking my husband to shoot me in the head. It's out of despair, but it's hard on them too.
Yeah.
I've been there. I would be lying if I said I wasn't there. I I know that feeling. Um, I hope you're out of it today. Um, give yourself a hug and look yourself in the mirror and say thank you.
I love this community. I don't know. I thank you guys for being so open and so caring, and being willing to talk about this, because that it's not easy.
It's not easy. I'm literally choking up now.
I know.
um, One of the gifts in difficult diagnoses is being inherently thankful for the little things. I am grateful for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue, I think, into some of the hidden positives. Maybe we could
Yeah,
lighten up. Yeah.
thank you, Kenzie. Okay, so start setting us some hidden positive. Let's lighten the mood a little bit. Um, Hidden positives for me are my support system, are you guys. Uh, Kenzie sending me her selfie yesterday with her ice pack on, and while I'm sitting here with my beanbag on my face, you know, laughing together through the pain.
Yeah.
That really helps me through this.
Yeah. I think this community is number one for me. It's just like we've found our people, and like we're okay to be sad together, but we can also laugh together, and we're just getting through this, and like knowing that we're not alone. Like this is just so validating, and it's beautiful. It makes this really ugly, inherently miserable thing a beautiful thing.
Yes, I think that was So well spoken. This community really inspires me to keep going, and it shows me that there are still great people out there that are willing to be vulnerable and be supportive and be there with me through the hard times. And um, I'm grateful for nature. I'm grateful for weed. I'm grateful for life and just another day, a fresh start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm grateful for lessons that I've learned from this. I wish I didn't have to learn them in the way that I've learned them, and we've all learned them. But I am grateful that I have learned these life lessons, like not to take little things for granted. That's been a huge thing. Like being able to put more value into positive things than negative things. Knowing who and what matters. These are things that people don't learn for years and years and years. And, you know, as much as it sucked that we've had to learn them through TN, what a privilege it has been to learn them.
I love that. Great, great, great point. I am so thankful that I've had the opportunity to learn and grow and become a better person. Because without TN, I wouldn't. I would just be where I was before. And I'm so glad that I'm becoming a more graceful and peaceful and appreciative person of everything.
I think you're pretty amazing.
I think you're pretty amazing, Kenzie. Ken and John and I spent some time making a meme last night, so that was pretty fun too. That was positive. I'll get it after this. So I think
Oh,
I'm on par with everything we've been talking about today.
yeah.
Grateful for the lessons, for good days. I love that, Laura. She's grateful for ice packs, soft blankets, and rooms. Alma is grateful for nature and relaxation. Um, Julie said nature is her relief, one of the only things that helps her forget about the pain for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Andy said to remember the times you could have pressed quit, but you hit continue. I love that.
I really love that.
Daniel said a hidden positive is he doesn't sweat the small stuff, which, side note, is a book I'm reading right now and really helps me through the pain. Um, Daniel said compared to TN, just about anything is trivial. Smoke weed every day. um, yes, our compassion for others. Grateful
Mm-hmm.
to be alive. Grateful for family. Grateful that others know how I feel. That's a great. I think you guys are all awesome. Thank you, Laura. Thanks, everybody, for just being so supportive and being so vulnerable. I love to see you guys connecting with each other outside of our page. I love seeing you guys, building relationships and friendships that are going to
Yes.
last forever.
I love this. I was just saying to Ron the other day, like how amazing it is that, we've made all these like such strong connections off of social media. You think like 10 years back that wouldn't have happened. And now like we're making connections, like people are going to visit each other off of social media. It's like these are potentially lifelong friends. And that is so, so amazing.
I love it. Um, Quick update on the 5K because today is the last day of Suicide Awareness Month as well. So make sure you take care of yourself, and I'll get some. Laura and I were talking about some crisis lines, so I'll get that posted today for everybody. Um, we are at $4,100 donated.
That's
That's
amazing.
all going to the Facial Pain Research Foundation. They are working to find a cure for trigeminal neuralgia. Um, I am still waiting on the t-shirts to come in. I am so anxious for them to come in. I know everybody else is too. They should be here today. I'm hounding the vendor every single day, annoying them. So the second I get them, they're all ready to get shipped out. So hang tight, guys. I wanted to get them to you tomorrow, but it's just not going to happen. So just hang tight. I promise they're coming. Kenzie has a huge event coming up this weekend for the 5K. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so basically on Sunday, we're going to do this thing where we have a central location, and then half a kilometer out, we're going to have like 5 different activity stations. So we're going to have like a craft station. We are going to have rock painting. There's just going to be a whole bunch of different things. And so by the time they go to the activity station and back, that'll be a kilometer. And we've got 5 of those, so they'll complete the 5K while also learning some trivia facts and getting to do some fun things. And yeah, then we'll do a lantern walk on October 7th. And I'm hoping to start releasing the TN video project starting tomorrow, the first video.
Yay!
Yeah.
I put so much work into it. Can't wait to see it. Thank you for all your advocacy and events that you're putting together. That is incredible, and I cannot wait to see how it all comes together.
Yeah. No, you were the inspiration for the 5K one.
Well, thank you. I am excited to see everybody's pictures. Don't forget to tag Getting on My Nerves 5K to be featured. I want to get everybody's pictures on the page. Don't forget to wear teal. And you have all month to complete the 5K. You don't have to do it all in one day. So you have from October 1st to October 31st to walk, run, however you want to do it. You can track it every single day if you want. You can track it one day, however you want. Flexibility is there. Thank you, everybody, for participating and raising awareness with us.
I feel like this is going to be the best year yet.
I think it is. I saw your lantern event for the last couple years, and I thought it was so cool. So I'm so excited to connect with you this year and be able to collab on an event this year.
Me too. Yeah. Can you do a post where people can comment where they're located? Yeah, we could figure that out.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone's in Portland, Oregon and wants to do the 5K together, just DM me and we can try to figure that out. Alma wants to connect with other people so that they can meet each other and, connect that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if anyone's in Southern Alberta, I know that's a random place, but come on down and you can join in on our event.
Yes. And don't forget, on Saturday, Victoria and I are doing an Instagram Live yoga event at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure to grab your yoga mat or a blanket or a towel or whatever. She's going to give some great information about removing pain. Super excited about that.
I can't wait to all of it.
Yes. And then on Monday, I'll be chatting with Ron. So we have some super exciting events. Michaela and I are going to make cookies on Awareness Day. So be sure to tune in. I think we're doing 5:30. I've been messing around with Michaela's event, so I'll have to check in with her on that. Sorry, Michaela.
We'll figure this all out. But
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an amazing awareness month.
I think so too. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Is there anything you want to add? I got to get some breakfast in and relieve some pain.
Yeah, I'm with you there. No, I think we covered everything. Again, just so thankful for this community, and I really look forward to these every Thursday now. So yeah, I guess stay tuned for everything going on the next couple weeks, and we will chat with you guys again.
Yes. Stay strong. DM us if you have any questions. We'll see you next week. Or actually, I'll see you guys on Saturday. I don't know.
See you guys.
Bye.